こんにちは。アルファアドバイザーズの坂下です。今日は、アルファでも今非常に人気が高いシンガポールの MBA ですね。特にシンガポールでも最高峰の NUS、シンガポール国立大学の MBA のアドミッションの方に来ていただいております。そしてなんと今日は非常に、ありがたいというか、皆さんにとってもとても、学びになる、もともと三菱商事にお勤めで、今はその NUS の MBA に、在学中の日本人の在校生の方にも来ていただきました。アドミッションの方から学校の説明、それから在校生の方にも、なぜそもそも MBA に行かれたのかとか、どういう学びをしていらっしゃるのか、詳しくお話しいただこうと思います。アルファアドバイザーズでは今まで17年間、社会人の方のキャリアのサポートをしてきまして、最近はこのシンガポールですね、ここ数年間、とても人気がある地域ですし、アルファとしても、卒業後のキャリアも含めて、とてもお勧めしている留学先でもあります。で、20代、若手の方で行く方もいますし、あとは30代、40代で、ご自分で行かれる方も、あるいはご家族を連れて、お子さんもいらっしゃったりですね。シンガポール非常に教育も水準が高いので、ご家族で行きたいという方もいますし、アルファではその後の MBA の受験ももちろんですし、その後の就職、MBA に行ってからの就職、転職活動もたくさんサポートしています。で、ぜひ皆さんももう日本企業で、なかなかですね、もうグローバルな力がついていないとか、やはりもっと専門性をつけて、海外で働きたいとか、グローバルにキャリアアップしたい、MBA に行って、経営人材に向かいたいという方がたくさん来てますので、いつでもご相談ください。で、今日のゲストの方も、まさにもう今までのキャリアからさらにステップアップということで、留学に挑戦されているので、とても、皆さんのあの、先輩というか、MBA 生の方にもたくさんご質問していただければと思います。で、個別にキャリアの相談ですとか、あと MBA、大学院、最近はMBA のみならず、テクノロジーの大学院とか、データサイエンスなんかも非常にご相談多いんですが、NUS も MBA のみならず、フィンテックとかファイナンスのマスターもとても強いプログラムがあるので、そういったところもね、今日は、他のマスターの授業とか、より専門的な内容についてもお聞きできればなと思っています。個別の相談は無料相談まで来ていただければと思います。で、今日は、在校生の方、それからアドミッションの方と、私、坂下でお話ししていきたいと思います。では、早速、まずはアドミッションの方に学校のプログラムのオーバービューとか、あとは今年ですね、2025年、今年の入学もまだ間に合うということで、あんまりですね、今のキャリアにあと1年以上いるよりは、もうどんどん挑戦したいとか、少しでも早くキャリアアップしたいという方は、アルファで準備すれば、まだ出願も十分間に合うと思いますので、早めにご相談いただければと思います。So, thank you, Shoya-san, Jun-san, for your time today. And Jun-san,
Thank
could you
you.
start for your presentation?
Sure. All right. Thank you very much, Emmy. Let me just share my screen. Hey, I hope everyone is able to see my screen clearly. Yeah. So, first of all, thank you very much for taking this evening to join us, and of course, thank you to Emmy and to Alpha Advisors for organizing this session and giving us the opportunity to share more with you about the NUS MBA. So, my name is June. I'm from the NUS MBA team at NUS Business School, and I believe that you are here because you are considering probably a couple of MBA programs, right? You might have a few programs in mind, but do allow me to spend the next 25 minutes to just quickly take you through the NUS MBA. And I hope that this session will help you to actually get more information and more details about the program, right? To help you make a more informed decision in terms of the types of programs to choose for the next stage of your postgraduate studies. So perhaps let me just start off by just sharing a bit about why pursue an MBA right now. I'm sure you have many reasons. Maybe you have one main reason, you have many reasons, but these are just some of the key reasons why one should actually seriously consider pursuing an MBA program. So it could be, you know, to help you accelerate or advance your career, prepare you for more senior leadership roles, help you to develop a more entrepreneurial mindset, right? So that you can have a more strategic mindset, basically, when it comes to leading your own team or even your own company in the future. To, of course, enhance your earning potential, you know, get a better ROI, expand your network, get to know more people from different cultures, from different countries, from different walks of life, and even different professional backgrounds, because that is actually important for you to lead globally. And of course, to build adaptability and resilience as well, because the training of the MBA does help to give you better problem-solving skills, and of course, to improve your critical thinking skills as well. So probably the next question you might ask is then, why do an MBA in Singapore and why NUS, right? There are many MBA programs around the world, even within Asia, and of course, there are a few good MBA programs in Singapore as well. But why with NUS, right? So of course, NUS is the top university in Asia, and we are also the only university in the top 10 in the QS World University rankings. As you would know, Singapore has a very strategic location, especially in Southeast Asia. We are very well connected to the rest of Asia. And of course, we have good industry connections as well. You know, we have a very global faculty, very strong curriculum. And of course, NUS is the flagship university of Singapore. It is also the most comprehensive university. So if you are choosing a university to do your MBA, you would want to choose one that has many networks and many resources for you to tap on. So in NUS, we have about 16 different faculties, and we have a huge student population made up of both undergraduate and postgraduate students coming from over 100 different nationalities. So now what then makes the NUS MBA stand out, right? What makes the program unique? So NUS MBA is known for being a global MBA, but also an MBA with a very strong Asia focus. So be it whether you plan to pursue your career in Asia, or whether you plan to bring these insights, these Asian insights outside of Asia to help businesses outside of Asia thrive, NUS MBA will be a very good platform for you to hone these skills and gain the knowledge required. Now, we are also one of the programs, I would say pretty rare to have a balanced academic and an experiential core. So you'll see that we have an academic core, we have an experiential core as well, because we believe that in an MBA, it is important for our students to have the opportunity to learn and build practical real-world skills while you are in the program. In fact, during the program, you can weave in internships. So it's something like, I would say it's as good as building your portfolio as you are studying at the same time. The program is also very highly flexible. So probably one unique thing you might notice about the NUS MBA is our program duration. Our program is 1.5 years. Not too long, neither is it too short. So it's actually just nice. And there are over 40 to 50 electives that you can choose from. And out of those electives, you can even build towards a specialization if you want to. There are actually 9 different specializations that are available. Another I would say unique aspect is that we have a full-time MBA as well as a part-time MBA. Now, both programs are actually exactly the same. So irrespective of your format, you are getting the same learning experience. You have the same, I would say, access to the same resources, and you even have the option to switch your format once during the program. So that provides our students with a lot of flexibility depending on your circumstance. at that time in the program. Now, there are also a lot of, I would say, opportunities for you to amplify your experience outside of the classroom. So other than your usual business school classes, you even have chances to take on experiential electives outside of the business school. You can take on either a short-term or a long-term or semester exchange program if you want to. There are also overseas study trips as well, which we call the Global Immersion Program. I believe there's actually one in Japan very soon, if I'm not wrong. And students also have the chance to take part in case competitions and play a part in leading by participating in student club activities as well. And the last point I'd like to share here is that we are the only business school in Singapore that's part of the GNAM network. In case you are not familiar with the GNAM network, the GNAM network stands for the Global Network for Advanced Management, and only the top business school in every country can be a part of this network. This network consists of about 30 plus top business schools. And this means that as an NUS MBA student, you have the chance to take some online courses that are offered by these top business schools all around the world. Okay, so we are also known for having a strong faculty. So very proud to share that we have over 300 faculty in the business school coming from areas like in finance, in healthcare, even in entrepreneurship and marketing. And they've all been educated in, very highly renowned universities worldwide and represented by 20 over different countries. So that means that as a student, you do get a lot of different insights and different exposure during your learning journey in the MBA program. So some of these faculty, some of them actually do have industry experience as well, right? So you have a good balance of both academic as well as faculty with industry experience who will be teaching you throughout the program. Now, another aspect that I wanted to share more is about the class profile, right? So basically, who will you be studying with when you are in the NUS MBA? So in every cohort, our program is made up of about 120 full-time students and about 80 to 90 part-time MBA students. So in total, there are about 200, I would say you will have a peer network of about 200 students in the program. Interestingly, in our full-time MBA, actually about 90% of the students are international students. And even in the part-time MBA, about 60% of the students are actually international students. So you can see that in our program, it is really a highly international and diverse cohort. All in all, you can expect to meet students from 20 over and maybe almost 30 different countries coming from 20 over industries. And there's also a pretty strong, I would say, Japanese student representation in the NUS MBA. Typically, every year, we'll see about 8 to 10% of Japanese students, both full-time and part-time MBA combined in the cohort. So this means that you do actually have a good network of support from not just from your classmates from other countries, but even from your own Japanese MBA classmates as well. Okay, so another point I wanted to just take this opportunity to share about NUS MBA is that it's a 17-month program, right? And during this program, we want to ensure that you have a strong, I would say, career ecosystem to actually support you. Now, generally, we do have a career office called Biz Careers that supports you while you are in the MBA program. But we do acknowledge that Singapore is a competitive economy, right? So having just a career office to support our students is definitely not enough. We definitely feel that students need more. So we have a comprehensive career ecosystem to ensure that you are well prepared, right, for the next stage in your career. So what does this ecosystem consist of? So other than career services, of course, student clubs is one of them. We also organize industry and alumni networking events. Some of these events are organized by the school, some organized by the student clubs. Of course, there are also workshops whereby we bring in industry professionals to share expertise with students and help our students to prepare better for their next role. There are also mentorship programs from MBA alumni, from business school or NUS alumni in general. And some of these mentors may even be industry professionals. Our career office, of course, offers career coaching, whereby students can actually go and speak with our career advisors to help plan and strategize their careers moving forward. And of course, there are also case competitions that happen throughout the year, and we highly encourage our students to participate in these case competitions to give themselves more training, to give themselves more, I would say, global exposure as well. Now, another interesting and I would say really unique aspect of the NUS MBA is actually the opportunity to do exchange programs. Now, because our program is a little bit longer, so students have the chance to weave in short exchange programs or even a semester exchange program during the MBA if they like to. So this slide is just a screen, I would say like a screenshot of some of our exchange partners. Actually, there are about 40 over partner business schools, and you can see that they are all really good business schools around the world. So this is, you know, a signal of the strength of the NUS MBA network. So some of these schools offer semester exchange, some offer short-term exchange, some offer both. And every year, of course, we will let the students know which schools are offering what type of exchange programs, and students definitely have the opportunity to apply for these programs. So be it whether you want to do a program within Asia or outside of Asia, there is definitely something for everyone. Okay, so another aspect of the NUS MBA, you know, to help boost the global exposure for our students is actually our global immersion program. Now, so during the program, students have the opportunity to do a 1-week study trip, right? And these are some of the destinations that our students have been to over the past few years. As I mentioned, there will be one coming up in Japan very soon, and I believe there's also one coming up to Thailand, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Shoya will be able, our student Shoya here will be able to share more later, but this is a good chance for you to actually not just learn about new culture, it's a bit of a cultural immersion, but also ways of doing business, because during the trip, you will have chances to visit companies and mingle and engage with industry professionals in those countries as well. And in the NUS MBA, there's also chances for you to contribute meaningfully as a student club member or even as a student club leader as well. So NUS MBA, we have about 13 different student clubs, mixture of professional clubs like finance, entrepreneurship, marketing, energy, technology, to general interest clubs, right? As you see here, like for example, sports and wellness, diversity and inclusion, so on and so forth. So these clubs are a good way for you as a student to engage with your fellow classmates with similar interests or passion. And if you want to take your MBA to the next level, you can even be one of a club. You can be a club leader if you would like to, because as a club leader, I like to say that you have a front row seat to a lot of the industry professionals, and you are also responsible for driving the learning experience and the networking experience for your own club as well. So that actually helps you to, you know, and not helps you to hone your leadership skills further, right? And it actually gives you the opportunity to be able to network a lot more during the MBA as well. So I would say the student club is definitely one of the interesting aspects of the NUS MBA program, one of the highlights actually. So let's just talk a bit about what are some of the advantages of living and studying in Singapore. So in fact, as you know, Singapore is not too far away from Japan. It's about a 6-hour flight away. Singapore is, although we are a very small country, but we are a safe country and also very multicultural country as well. We also, you know, have a good public transportation system. There is definitely a pretty strong Japanese community here in Singapore as well. And in fact, NUS is located pretty near city center. Although we are not right in the middle of the city center, but I would say it's about a 15 to 20-minute drive away from the city center. So very accessible. Actually, the campus is very accessible to different parts of Singapore. Okay, so I will move on to just cover a little bit about the admission requirements and maybe share a few admission tips with everyone before I pass the session over to Shoya. So in order to be eligible to apply to the NUS MBA, you just need to ensure that you meet these 4 key admission requirements, right? And that is a bachelor's degree, and it can be in any discipline. It does not necessarily have to be business related. Okay. We have students in the program who are, from finance background, but also from technology background, from arts background. We even have students who are from a law background, medical background in the NUS MBA. Very, very diverse class. You do need to ensure you have at least 2 years of work experience, full-time work experience. And from our admissions point of view, we count work experience from your first full-time role after you've graduated, after you've finished your bachelor's degree, up to the point you submit your application. Okay, so do take note of that, right? That's how we count the work experience. Thirdly, a GMAT score or a GRE score is definitely a must for the application as well. If any of you here are looking at a part-time MBA, do know that if you have more than 5 years of work experience and you plan to apply to the part-time MBA, you can take the executive assessment instead. All right. And then last but not least, if your undergraduate or postgrad degree was not fully taught in English, then a TOEFL score or IELTS score is needed. So in case you are wondering, for the TOEFL, the minimum requirement is 100, and for IELTS, the minimum requirement is 7.0. All right. So a few tips that I would like to leave with you today. So do note that we only have one intake every August for both the full-time and the part-time MBA. And generally, applications will open about 1 year in advance. So this means that if you, for example, if you are thinking of applying for, say, the August 2026 intake, for example, right, you can expect that the August 2025, the application will open in August, around August 2025. So give yourself sufficient time to actually just prepare for the test and take the test as well. Give yourself enough buffer time, right, so that you do not get into a mad rush at the end of the cycle. And just to share, this year we have a new component in the admissions process, and that is the video assessment. So do note that this video assessment will come after you submit your application. It is a must to complete the video assessment, and this is in addition to the admissions interview. All right, so do take note of that. Of course, you also need to nominate one recommender, and do ensure that it is a professional recommender and not an academic referee. And most importantly, this recommender should be someone you have a good professional, a good working relationship with, and the seniority does not matter. And I've also provided here a quick list of the application materials that you should try to prepare in advance to avoid the last minute rush, right? So some of these materials are, of course, your resume, your photo, soft copies of your degree scrolls and your academic transcripts, your test scores, your financial supporting document, which is the latest, your latest salary slip. And you'll be required to, of course, provide 3 admission essays. So the questions for the admission essays will be in the online application form itself. And once you have completed your application, you can proceed to submit with a $100 Singapore dollars application fee. Okay, so of course we do acknowledge that doing an MBA is definitely an important financial investment. Of course, I would like to share that there are scholarships, merit-based scholarships available to outstanding candidates. So basically, scholarships, how we determine candidates for scholarships are pretty similar to how we determine candidates for admissions, right? So we will, of course, look at your academic background, your work experience, your career track record, and your performance in the entire admissions process, including the admissions interview as well. But of course, it does help to do a little bit of, I would say, financial planning prior to the MBA. So develop a strong financial plan, preferably independent of scholarships first, just to ensure that you have sufficient budget to cover yourself during the MBA program. And of course, it's also because scholarship decisions may not necessarily be announced together with the admission offer. All right, so for some candidates, it might come together, some might come later, and not everybody, realistically speaking, not everybody will eventually be awarded a scholarship. So having a good financial plan is very important. But also do know that there will be some additional grants that you can apply for after you have joined or rather been admitted to the program. And some of these grants can be used towards experiential learning opportunities like exchange programs and your global immersion programs, right? So the average scholarship award is about 10 to 20%. And every year I would say that eventually about 30% of the cohort will eventually receive a scholarship. And I've also provided a bit of a breakdown for you. I hope you will find this helpful when you are planning for the MBA. So for full-time MBA students, I would say this is an expected monthly budget for your MBA program. Depending on whether you plan to stay on campus or outside of campus, of course, the budget will vary. But if you plan to bring your family along, I would say that you most likely will have to stay outside of campus, and naturally the budget will be a little bit higher as well. And if you have children and you want to enroll them in local preschools, then do also budget additional amount for that as well. Okay, so I hope you find this information helpful for your financial planning for your MBA with NUS. Okay, so just to quickly share, the admissions is still ongoing for the August 2025 intake. So we have already passed the first 2 rounds for the full-time MBA. So there's still opportunity to apply. There are still seats available. So I highly encourage you to apply for the 2025 intake if you are ready to start your MBA. And the final deadline will be 2nd of April this year. If you are looking at a part-time MBA, then you have a little bit more time. The final deadline will be on 13th of May this year. Okay. Now, so I would just like to leave you with these few final questions for you to ponder upon whether NUS is the right MBA for you. So firstly, do you think Asia will play an important role, right, in global business in the future? Secondly, are you convinced that NUS is the leading university in Asia? And then, of course, the third question is, are you actually looking for a program that can truly transform yourself, right? That can help you actually become the best version of yourself? And does an MBA that can be tailored, that can be customized to your needs, does this kind of MBA actually appeal to you? Does it resonate with you? And last but not least, are you willing to actually stretch yourself and get out of your comfort zone? So if your answers to these questions are a yes, then I think you could be a good fit for the NUS MBA, and I'd highly recommend you to apply to the program. I would love to see your application. All right, okay, so these are just some ways that you can get in touch with us. Feel free to visit our website, to write to us if you have any questions, okay? And I think I will hand the session over to probably to Shoya to actually share a little bit about his experience in the program. Let me just stop my screen.
Yep, thank you very much. 私からは日本語で、お話しさせていただこうと思います。
お願いします。
はい、少々お待ちください。はい。はじめまして皆さん、広瀬と申します。昨年、2024年インテークで、現在シンガポール国立大学の MBA に通っております。本日はですね、実際にシンガポールに住んで、そして NUS 通ってみてどうかっていうのを、今現状、もうまさに今通っている中で、どんなことを考えているのか、思っているのかみたいなところを共有させていただければなと思ってます。昨年の今頃は僕も本当に、なんて言いますか、ストレスフルにですね、時間を過ごしてたなって、思い起こすとですね、そんなことを話聞きながら思い出してましたので、少しでも皆さんのアプリケーションの受験のお助けになったらなと思っております。はい。 でですね、まず自己紹介とどうして MBA に行こうと思ったかというところなんですけども、私は2013年に新卒で三菱商事に入社いたしました。で、9年ほどですね、営業と事業開発と、最後は投資先のメーカーの経営支援の仕事をしまして、その後にモニターデロイトに転職いたしました。で、2年ほどデューデリジェンスの案件ですとか、組織改革の案件に従事いたしまして、その後に今、MBA に来ているというキャリアの人間になります。で、どうして MBA かというところなんですけども、大きくは2つございまして、1つはグローバルな人材になりたかったというところで、グローバルな、チームとか、組織をリードできる人材になりたかったというのが一つです。直接的なきっかけは、自分が若手だった頃に近い先輩がですね、MBA に挑戦されていて、そういうなんか選択肢もあるんだなっていうことを思ったのがきっかけになります。で、二つ目は、純粋に、人脈を作りたかったというところですね。いろんな国の、いろんな産業の人とつながりたかったというのがあります。というのが、なんて言うんでしょう。オフィシャルなですね、理由で、これは嘘ではないんですけども、決して。三つ目があるとすれば、自分の人生観といいますか、なんか後悔しない人生を過ごしたいなと思って、年齢とか、私今35歳なんですけども、年齢関係ないなと思って、最後は勢いで、決めたっていうのが、割と大きなところだったりはします。はい。でですね。で、いざその MBA 行こうとなって、どんな、思考プロセスで、学校とか国とかを選んだかっていうところなんですけども、まず、Y シンガポールですね。こちらは、もう先ほどからもある通り、アジアというところですね。私はその今後キャリアを作っていく中で、このアジアっていうのを一つのキーワードにしたかったというのがあります。それは、純粋にマーケットとして成長する、国、地域だと思いますし、地政学的にもますます重要になってくる地域だというふうに思ってます。そういう意味で、アジアの、なんて言いますか、生の空気とか、人に触れて、そして人脈も作りたかったというのもあります。で、二つ目はですね、ちょっと稚拙な、え表現で恐縮なんですけども、なんか、日本ではなかなか出会いにくいですね、実業家の方とか、投資家の方とか、経営者の方と知り合って、いろんなお話を聞きたいなっていうのがあったので、シンガポールであればそういう、コネクションも作りやすいかなと、なんとなく肌感があったので、シンガポールにしたというところですね。で、その中でもなぜ NUS にしたかというところなんですけども、3つほどございまして、1つが総合大学というところです。私は学部の頃に国際関係学を勉強しておりまして、そういう意味で社会科学の学問に興味があったというのと、卒業後ですね、まだ考えているところなんですけども、一つの選択肢として企業も選択肢にしたいという中で、研究者の方とも出会いたい、そういったモチベーションもあったので総合大学を選びました。二つ目と三つ目は割と似てるんですけども、期間というところで先ほどもその長すぎず短すぎずみたいな表現があったと思うんですけど、17ヶ月っていうのが割とフィット感があったというのと、あとはインターンですね。インターンがしやすい、なんていうか、期間であり、プログラムの構成といいますか。例えばなんですけども、我々の代は去年8月に入学をいたしまして、今2学期目に入っているところなんですけども、早い人だと去年の10月とか11月からもう早速インターンを始めてる、授業行く傍らパートタイムっていう形でインターンに行ってるような同級生もいました。ので、そういったですね、なんて言うんでしょう、自分がやりたいことに合わせて、いろんな時間の使い方ができる、そういったところに魅力を感じたというのがあります。はい。で、ちょっとお時間が気になってるんですけども、このペースで大丈夫ですかね。 基本お話しするのはこの1枚くらいなんですが、あとは写真が何枚かっていう形なんですが。
はい、全然大丈夫です。
はい、ありがとうございます。で、実際、通ってみてどうですか話です。まず、授業ですね。こちらはですね、このケースと座学とこのグループワークのバランスがとても良いなっていう印象を受けてます。大学によって、ケース重視の学校もあれば座学重視の、座学重視っていうのはないかもしれないですけども、実践重視の大学もあると思うんですけども、その中でもとてもこうバランスの良いコースだなっていう印象を受けてますね。で、その中でもこうおすすめというか人気のある授業を2つほどピックアップしてるんですけども、1つがこのマネージリアルオペレーションアナリティクスという授業で、こちらはもう完全にケース型の授業で、なんでしょう、製造業とか、あるいはこのレストランとか観光業とか、なんかそういういろんなですね、産業のこのオペレーションとかアナリティクスっていう観点で定性的に定量的にいろいろ議論するみたいな授業ですね。で、もう一つはアジアン、ビジネスエンバイロメントということで、こちらはもう少しこうビジネスというよりかはですね、その事業商売する前の段階としてアジアってどんな環境なの、どんな文化があるの、どんな人が過ごしてるのみたいな、そういうちょっと一歩引いた形のテーマにした授業になります。こちらもとても人気のある授業ですね。なので、授業はとても和気あいあいとやってるみたいな雰囲気になります。後ほどまたちょっと写真もご紹介できればと思います。で、2つ目がイベントです。こちらは先ほどもあった通りですね、いろんなクラブがあります。で、いろんなイベントを開いてくれます。ピクニックはですね、なんかこっちの公園に行って、家族とかも連れてきて、みんなで食べたりとか、あるいはなんかパーティーですね、普通に。例えば最近ですと、チャイニーズニューイヤーが、旧正月がありましたので、そのパーティーをしたりですとか、先ほども上がったような GIP ですね。日本は毎年人気でして、今年もございます。今年に関してはサウジアラビア人の同級生がいて、サウジアラビアも一つの、なんていうか、多分初めてなんじゃないかと思うんですけど、サウジアラビアに行くっていう GIP トレックもあったりします。で、つい先日、この週末ですね、MBA オリンピックっていうのもあって、シンガポールにあるビジネススクールで、いろんな競技をするという、運動会みたいなイベントもあったりしまして、見事ですね、NUS は、銀メダルという、5校中の銀メダルなので悪くはないんですけども、そういう成績を残したの一応文武両道の学校なのかなというふうに思っております。で、3つ目です。シンガポールに住んでみてどうかですね。こちらは、お伝えしたいことたくさんあるんですけども、3つくらいに絞っております。1つがこのグローバル&アジアンということで、先ほどもあった通り、国の成り立ちからしてとても多様な文化がある、あるいは言語がある国です。そういう国柄もあってだと思うんですけども、なんていうか、自分と違う人に対してオープンなのかなっていう、なんとなくの肌感があるので、そういう意味でグローバルでもあり、とてもいろんなアジアのコミュニティの人たちがいるっていう、そんな印象があるというところですね。で、2つ目はこれもコンパクトということで、都市部にとてもアクセスがしやすいので、いろんなイベントがあるんですけども、そのイベントにも授業後すぐに行けたりするみたいな利便性があります。個人的に一番驚きだったのはこの3つ目の安全というところでして、とてもですね、多分もしかすると日本よりも安全なんじゃないかっていうくらい、安全です。例えばなんですけども、外国人の先生が言ってた言葉で、自分の国、その人の出身国では娘を夜道歩かせられないけど、シンガポールは全然自信を持って歩かせられるみたいなことを言っていたのが印象的で、本当にですね、とても安全を感じる国だなって思いますので、ご家族を 連れて、お連れになっていらっしゃる方は、これも一つのなんか大きな要素になるのかなっていうふうに思います。で、最後ですね、ネットワーキングっていうところで、本当にいろんな方と出会える機会があります。企業主催のイベントということで、日本の企業もたくさんいらっしゃるので、日本の会社さんが主催されるイベントもありますし、グローバルの会社でアジアにヘッドクォーターを置く会社も多いので、そういったイベントもたくさんあります。あるいはその NUS のアルムナイとのネットワーキングイベントですとか、いろんな産業のカンファレンスもあったりします。私も再来週ですね、興味のある産業のカンファレンスがあるので参加してこようと思ってるんですけども、スタートアップ系のカンファレンスですとか、いろいろですね、カンファレンスがあるので、就職活動ですとかネットワーキングがとても役に、立ちますし、周りの同級生もかなり参加して、そこでインターンの機会を得るみたいなケースも聞いたりします。というところでですね、とても人脈を広げるには良い国なのかなというふうに思ってます。はい。ですので、結論的にはですね、シンガポールはとてもオープンかつ、とても安全な国で、NUS に関してはこの理論と実践のバランスが取れた大学、MBA のコースなのかなというふうに思っております。はい。で、最後ちょっと何枚か写真ですね、ご紹介できればと思います。左側がですね、ビジネススクールのメインの建物の中ですね。8階くらい建てだと思うんですけども、の中が吹き抜けになってる、とても開放感のある、建物ですね。で、真ん中の上が MBA ラウンジ。なので MBA 生が普段なんかイベントがあればお酒飲みながらだべったりとか、あるいはテスト後にお互いの傷を舐め合うような場であったりとか、とてもなんていうか交流している場ですね。で、下がクラスルームの様子です。で、右側がですね、ある授業の、グループワークなんですけども、マシュマロチャレンジって、ご存知の方はご存知かもしれないですけど、パスタとパスタを使ってマシュマロを高く積み上げるみたいなゲームで、一つのチームビルディングの一環としてやってたんですけども、はい。そういった和気あいあいと、授業を過ごしてますっていうような、写真ですね。で、こちらはユニバーシティタウンという、キャンパス内にある一つのエリアの写真になります。左側からですね、外観ですね。左下が、なんていうか、目の前に、私も今まさに U タウンの寮に住んでるんですけども、その寮の目の前にこういった芝生が広がっていて、部活をやってる学部生とかもいたりします。私もたまにサッカーボール蹴ったりしてるんですけども。で、真ん中の上が、学食と言っていいと思うんですけども、もうすぐ近くにある、食堂ですね。で、卓球とかビリヤードができる場もあったりしてですね、つい先日も授業終わって夜、どうだろう、9時半とか10時くらいに、WhatsApp のグループがあるんですけども、誰かビリヤードしないみたいな形で声かけて、何人か集まってくれて、ビリヤードして、最近どうよみたいな話をしたりとか、あるいは、一人台湾人の友達が、同級生が来てくれて、なんですかね、オフレコというか、台湾と中国ってどうなのみたいな、なんかそういう普段聞きにくいというか、こういう場だからこそ聞けるような雑談みたいなのもしたりしています。なので、とても、そうですね、ユニバーシティタウンっていうのは寮もあるので、常に誰かしらいるっていう、そういった、温かいというか、交流の場になってますね。で、最後になりますが、左側は、アルムナイの方々と会った、ウイスキーナイトみたいな、ちょっとこじゃれたイベントで、同級生の人たちみんなで写真撮ったっていうものですね。右上はつい先日あった MBA オリンピックの集合写真で、 で、右下がですね、いろんな人に出会えますっていう写真なんですけど、サッカーの元日本代表の本田圭佑さんが、スタートアップ関連のイベントでピッチというかスピーチをされてて、部屋を出た瞬間にすかさず話しかけに行ってですね、将来こういうことしたいと思ってるので、また話しさせてくださいって言って、写真を撮らせてもらったっていう、写真です。これはとても、なんて言うんでしょう、極端な例だと思うんですけども、ただこうビジネス界の、こうなんかすごい人っていうとまたあれなんですけども、著名なこう YouTube に出てるような投資家の人と実業家の方とも出会える機会もあったりするので、本当にこれはですね、シンガポールの魅力だなっていうふうに感じてます。はい。というのが、私からの体験談のご共有になります。なので、繰り返しになるんですけども、シンガポールは本当にこうオープンで、こう安全な国ですし、この NUS というのもこう理論と実践をこう重んじる大学ですので、こういったところに興味を持っていただけたら、ぜひ嬉しいですし、申請していただけたらなというふうに思っております。で、ジュンさんが多分3月末に行かれると思うので、ぜひ、コーヒーチャット申し込んでいただけるとよろしいのかなと思います。私も、日本で、初対面は日本だったんですけども、その時にこういろいろお話、ざっくばらんに話をさせていただいて、そこから結構興味持ち始めたっていうのもあるので、ぜひですね、コンタクト取っていただけたらなと思います。私宛てにも、いつでもご連絡いただければと思いますので、はい、ぜひ体調に気をつけて頑張ってください。以上です。
ありがとうございます。そうですね。この後に多分皆さんからもいろいろご質問があると思うんですが、あの、結構、ちょうど広瀬さんのパートになったので、今、これ見てる方は MBA 行こうかどうしようかなって迷ってる方もいれば、もう自分は MBA に行くとか、あるいはシンガポール、まさにアジアに結構フォーカスを当てたいとか、シンガポール自身も結構金融とか、ヘッドクォーターとかも盛り上がっているところで行きたいという方も多いんですが、その、さっきちょっと年齢とかのね、こともおっしゃってましたけど、いろんな障害ってあると思うんですよね。もう今までの積まれてきたキャリアを一旦こう、普通にね、MBA 界隈ではキャリアアップの一環として行かれてると思うんですけれど、あまり挑戦に迷ってる方からすると、一旦ちょっとキャリアがリセットしちゃうんじゃないかとか、いろんな迷いがある方もいるんですが、そのあたりのこう決断の意思決定のプロセスとかっていうふうな、どういうお考えで留学に至ったか、ちょっと話していただけますか。
そうですね。ちょっと私の場合はもしかしたら特殊かもしれないんですが、うーんと、私の場合は、先ほどもお話しした通り、若手の頃に、MBA に興味を持って、こう、数年間くらいですかね、こう、行こうかな、でも今じゃないかなっていうのをこう何度も繰り返していました。で、転職をまずは選んだんですけども、こう、やっぱり心のどっかで、このまま行かないと後悔するなって思う時間、心のどっかに必ずいたんですよね。そういうこう自分との向き合い方をしている中で、たまたまなんですけども、これは、こう身近な人が亡くなって、本当人っていつ死ぬかわからないんだなっていうのを改めて感じてですね、もうこれは年齢関係ないなと思って、もう自分のやりたいことをしようと。で、そこからは、よく言うことかもしれないですけど、もう自分が選んだ道を、こういかに自分が正しくできるか、こう自分でその道を、こなんていうんですかね、作っていくっていうんですかね、切り開いていくというか、もう本当そういうマインドになったら、なんか、数千万の投資なので、安くはないんですけど、決して。なんですけど、なんていうのかな、このマインドが切り替わったら、もう、あんまり、こう、そこに意味はないというかですね、こう、もうあとはもう前を向いていくだけっていう今はそんな心持ちになってますね。なのでちょっとご質問のお答えになってないかもしれないんですけども、本当にこう自分と向き合って、少しでもこのままだと後悔するなって、思う感覚があったら 飛び込んでみるのも一つなのかなっていうのは、一つの体験したものとして思います。
ありがとうございます。So, thank you, Shoya-san. So, we will have more questions specifically for Hirose-san later in this session. And we will move on to the Q&A session with audience. We have lots of questions from audience to Jun-san and also Hirose-san as well. The first question is about the part-time program. So Jun-san showed us the presentation that says more than, I think, half of the student in part-time program are international students. And so the question is, what is the kind of general format of the part-time MBA program? And also, is it designed for professionals working in Singapore or for people based in Japan are possible to participate in the part-time program from Japan, for example, like, let's say, the weekend program or such kind of format?
Okay. Thank you, Annie, for posing that question. Generally, the part-time MBA is actually designed for working professionals who are based in Singapore. And I would say that you have to be based here to be able to do the part-time program, primarily because classes happens on both weeknights and maybe weekends. So a part-time MBA student, generally, from my observation, they will come for classes about 3 times a week. So a typical week could be 2 weeknights and maybe 1 class on a Saturday, for example. So in order to be able to do the program, you do have to be based in Singapore. But why you actually see quite a big percentage of I would say international students is because there are a lot of actually international talent that are working in Singapore. So some of these students may be here on an employment pass. They may be here as a permanent resident of Singapore, but not necessarily a citizen of Singapore. But bottom line is all of them are actually living and working here.
Thank you. そうですね。なので、パートタイムは現地で働いてる、だから駐在してるとか、あるいはもう現地採用でシンガポールにいる方とかですね。アルファでも駐在の方とかも結構ご相談があるので、そういう方は確かにパートタイムで行かれている方なんかもいますね。はい。Thank you. So the next question is about the career outcomes of the student. So actually, there are lots of people who are eager to work Singapore right after the graduation. So how common is it for international students, especially for Japanese students, to secure positions in Singapore right after the graduation?
Okay. I would say, of course, at this point, definitely Singapore is definitely a pretty competitive economy, as I shared earlier in my presentation. So realistically, I think to be able to work in Singapore after the MBA, it is possible, but I would say it does require a little bit more, I would say, patience, definitely. And that is why I would say for NUS MBA, one of the advantages is students are able to weave internships into the MBA if they want to, because of the slightly longer program duration, and being able to do internships will definitely help to facilitate that move if they would like to. Having said that, historically, we've been seeing about 2/3, I would say, half to 2/3 of our full-time MBA students actually working in Singapore after the MBA program. Whereas for students from Japan, I would say it's a mix. Yeah, actually quite a number would go back to Japan after the program, but we do also see a handful actually staying here after the MBA. In fact, we did have a couple of Japanese students who managed to find a full-time role in Singapore halfway through the program.
Mhm.
And what they've done is in their final semester, they actually requested to be converted to a part-time MBA student, which they managed to do so. So that flexibility, I would say, allows students to navigate the MBA depending on the circumstances. So that's why most of our MBAs, I think the moment they step foot in the program, that's where they will not just go through the MBA, but they will also start looking out for internships, for job opportunities, try and take part in as many networking events or activities as possible, basically just to expand their network and get to know as many people as they can during the MBA program. And having a longer program and more time, in my opinion, actually does help to facilitate. Yeah.
Thank you. So as Shoya-san showed us in the presentation that there are lots of network events during the program. So if there are any networking opportunity for students to stay connected to the industry in Singapore, like technology or financial industry and hedge fund, and like something like that.
Yes, there are. Maybe Shoya can also share a little bit more details. Feel free to add on. My understanding is that, like, for career office, they will organize industry networking events throughout the year. And these events are, I would say, actually specifically catered for MBA students, because MBA students, when they come into the program, they already have a significantly more number of years of work experience compared to even, say, specialized master's students. So the needs, the career needs, right, the kind of roles, the stage of their career when they do the MBA or when they start the MBA is very different. So in that sense, the career office will have to cater events that are more specific for the MBA. So they will run some industry networking events, some workshops, and some of these networking events that they run, I would say it's generally smaller scale. It's not the kind of mass market kind of event where it's attended by hundreds and thousands of people, but it's actually more niche. Yeah, from my understanding. Maybe Shoya can add on a bit more, because I believe you might have attended some of these events yourself.
Yes, definitely. So I find that, yeah, it's all up to student if he or she can maintain this network. But I can definitely say that there are a lot of opportunities to meet with new people. For example, like the picture that I showed in my presentation, there was whiskey night, very fancy night with alumni, and I think it was alumni from business school only, but so there were so many alumni from various industries, and a couple of my cohorts, they still have this relationship, and they occasionally go for lunch or dinner still. And also there's the mentorship program that Jun mentioned in your presentation. I talk to them sometimes myself, and also my couple of my cohorts, they also go for lunch or dinner occasionally with them. So I think, yes, definitely there are a lot of opportunities. But again, I think it's all up to students whether they want to keep this relationship or not. But if they do want to keep it, then there's definitely a lot of opportunities. And I think Singapore is a very good place to connect with people.
Thank you. So yeah, I understand that there are lots of networking opportunity, especially tailored for MBA students who have more professional experience compared to other students in master's program. Thank you. では次のご質問に行きたいと思いますが、yeah, so there are questions about the program itself. so there are questions about the dual degree opportunities or specialized master's degree opportunities. So could you tell us, for Jun-san, could you tell us if it's possible to pursue a dual degree program combined with MBA program with other master's program? I think there are already like specialization in MBA program. So could you, if there are opportunities for students to pursue the dual degree program, could you distinguish from the dual degree program from the specialization in MBA program?
Okay. Thank you for that question. So in principle, a dual degree, right, means that you are going to be earning two separate degrees
Yeah.
from two schools or two institutions,
Mhm.
right? And generally, dual degrees, we do offer a few dual degree programs. Some are double MBA programs. For example, we have a double MBA with Peking University in Beijing, China. We have a double MBA degree with HEC in Paris. We also have double degrees that is an MBA and master's. So for example, one would be the program with Yale. It's a double degree, our MBA and the Masters of Advanced Management with Yale. And we also have a double degree, MBA and Masters of Public Policy or Masters of Public Administration with our very own NUS Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. So there are about 4 or 5 dual degrees available. But of course, other than earning 2 different degrees, I would say the time commitment is also longer. So typically for these degrees, you have to spend a year with NUS and another year with the partner university. So bear in mind that to earn a dual degree, it will take you a longer period of time. Now for the specialization, basically it's really up to you whether you want to specialize or not. So actually doing a specialization in NUS MBA is actually not mandatory. So some students choose to generalize, some choose to specialize, but a specialization basically helps you to gain, I would say, additional, more in-depth expertise in a specific area during your MBA. But at the end of the day, you will still have that MBA foundation, for sure. And whether you do a specialization or not, it's still somewhat part of the regular, it is within the regular MBA itself, the regular NUS MBA itself. So there's no change in the duration. It's still the 17-month program. But I would say that when the choice of whether to do a specialization or not, the choice of whether I should do a double degree or not, I would say think a bit more about your needs. So when I talk about your needs, firstly is what are the kind of network you are looking for, right? So if the network in Singapore and let's say the network in Europe is also going to be important for you, then yes, maybe a double degree would be very helpful. But if you are looking more at the Asia region, then I would say probably just the regular NUS MBA would be more than sufficient for you to build your network. Now, the specialization will then come in depending on whether you want to, what kind of knowledge you think you need to gain to demonstrate to actually help you grow professionally and personally, and also demonstrate that to your future employers or what you want to do next in future. So for example, some of our students may want to move into, say, finance industry, but they do not have any finance background or any finance experience. Maybe then doing a specialization in finance would be helpful because you are not only gaining more knowledge in the area that you are lacking, but you're also demonstrating to your next employer that you are making sure that you are leveraging on the MBA to learn what you need to learn to prepare you well for the next role. So I think there's no right or wrong, but it is helpful to think about what knowledge and what kind of network you want to gain to help you make the right choice during the MBA.
Thank you. So if the students are interested in some like specific area, like you say, for example, finance, so can MBA student take other course than MBA? I mean, for example, Master in Finance class for elective or additional class?
I think most of the finance classes are actually catered for the MBA students itself. Yeah. There might be some electives from the Master of Finance available, but I think it's probably very minimal. From my understanding, yeah, because for MBA we have our own set of electives that are catered for our MBA students, and I mean most of these electives they are taught at the MBA level rather than at the master's level, because I think the level that is being taught and the coverage is probably different for both programs.
Thank you. はい。では、いいですね。So the next question is about visa with family or children of the student. So if students are coming to MBA with their families or like children, do they have does MBA do MBA issue visa for their dependents?
Okay, the visa is not directly issued by us. It's more so issued by our immigration authority. But yes, we do have MBA students who bring their families with them. So what they need to do is, of course, I would say for the student himself or herself, they have to, of course, after getting into the program, our admissions team will facilitate the application for the student visa. So all full-time MBA students do have to be holding a student visa during the program. So if you plan to bring the family along, you can bring them along, but only after you have come to Singapore, you can help them to apply what is called a long-term visit pass, or LTVP in short, for them to stay in Singapore. And this LTVP will be tagged to the student pass.
Thank you. So I want to ask question for Hirose-san. So in Japanese.
Sure.
ご家族連れで行きたいという方もいらっしゃるんですけど、そのご家族連れで来られている方の、ご質問でちょっと生活感というか、住む場所とか、そのご家族じゃない方も含めて少し補足いただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
そうですね。私自身は独身なので一人で来てるんですけども、周りの方々を見てると、そうですね。住んでる場所としては、なんでしょう、マリーナベイとか、そっちのシティと大学との間くらいに住んでる印象がありますね。それくらいが学校にもアクセスしやすくて、なんか家族が住めるような環境があるっていうのと、多分費用的にもちょうどいい。もちろん日本と比べると少しお高めにはなると思うんですけども、こちら相場ではちょうどいい、くらいの場所になるのかなと思います。そうですね。あとはどうでしょうね。ちょっと学校周りがですね、ちょっとわからないんですけども、だいたいお子さん連れて来られてるのは小さい子たちになるので、基本的には、家で過ごしてるお子さんが多いのかなっていう印象ですね。はい。ただ、こちらの駐在員ですとか、それこそこちらでもうすでに働いてる経営者の方とかのお子さんの話を聞くと、大体インターナショナルに通われる方が多いのかなと思います。感覚値的には8割、9割がインターナショナルで、1、2割が日本人学校に通われてる方が多いかなと思います。はい。
ありがとうございます。Yeah, because we have lots of questions from the prospectives who wants to bring their family with them. So Shoya-san will answer the question about the families and children's school options. Thank you. そんなところでしょうか。So it's a last question, and after the last question, I want to ask both of you to give us closing remarks and comments. The last question is for Jun-san. You showed us very distinctive features of NUS, the duration and program itself and network opportunities. If you do add some features that is distinctive, very unique strengths of NUS MBA program, because there are some other MBAs in Singapore. If there are any unique features or program features unique to NUS.
Okay, so I think the first thing about the uniqueness of the NUS, I mean for NUS MBA, I think the first thing would definitely be I did cover this a bit in my presentation, which is about the duration of the program. I think compared to a lot of the other MBA programs here, if I talk specifically in Singapore, we are probably the only 1.5 year MBA program. And why we've designed it this way is because, as you can see, if I go back to even earlier in my presentation, I shared that actually NUS is a comprehensive university, right? And I think the advantage of a comprehensive university is that you have a lot of opportunities to connect with people. There are just a lot of different platforms and resources that you can potentially tap on in the program. And I resonate with what Shoya mentioned, and that is, it also depends on the individual himself or herself, how much effort they actually want to put in, right, to leverage on these resources to actually get to meet and know more people. So I think the program duration is definitely something that is quite distinct about our program. The other one I would mention is definitely about the Asia focus of the MBA program, right? So being the top university in Asia, definitely our focus in Asia is very strong as well. And our program is also known to be offer very good balance between academic and experiential components. I think perhaps maybe there is this, I believe that there might be this perception that NUS is quite an academic university. Of course, as a top university, we have to deliver a rigorous curriculum, right? And that rigorous curriculum is important in training our future business leaders. But having said that, we underpin it with a very strong experiential component in the program as well, right? That allows our students to, I would say, do and learn at the same time. That is the essence of experiential learning, which is very key to our MBA program. So I would say these are actually some of the unique aspects that I will probably I'll share more about. Yeah, there are quite a few others, but I think these two, personally for me, are the more standout aspects.
Thank you. Okay, so that's all for the Q&A session with the audience. So thank you very much for the comprehensive overview and also sharing the unique and precious experience of current student. So could you give us closing remarks for us? Please let me add some information in Japanese. 皆さんもご質問ありがとうございました。広瀬さんですね、在校生の方もシェアしていただいたんですけれども、アドミッションの方が3月の末に日本に来られます。で、アルファでもアナウンスしている通り、QSMBA イベントっていうところでも、ブースを出されて、いろいろ学校の説明もしてもらえると思いますし、多分コーヒーチャットも別途、個別にお話しできる機会もあると思うので、ぜひ、興味がある方はアルファのところから来ていただければ、QS のお申し込みもね、アルファのところにあるので、QS のイベントは3月の29日土曜日ですね。 新宿であるみたいなんですけど、私たちも、呼んでいただいて、ブースと、そこでご相談いただけるブースと、あとは、セッションですね。多分代表の入住さんが、MBA キャリアとか、シンガポールでもヘッジファンドとかですね、アセマネとか、そっちに入っている方も、あと VC とかアルファでもいるので、そのあたりのファイナンスキャリアとか、あと今、非常に熱い、プライベートエクイティのキャリアなんかも、講演をさせていただくんですけれど、ぜひ QS に来て、アドミッションの方ですね、お話しいただければと思いますし、多分在校生の広瀬さんもとてもね、皆さんにもいろいろお話ししてもらえると思うんで、もっと知りたいよって方は、無料相談からも来ていただければと思います。はい。I shared the QS event details. And yeah, so could you give us closing remarks? Would you go first, Jun-san?
Okay, maybe I'll go first. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much, Emmy and also Alpha Advisors for giving us this opportunity to actually share more about our MBA program. And of course, thank you to Shoya for taking time off your MBA to be here as well today. I think to end off and to close off, I would just like to say that doing an MBA it's a very important decision, right? And I believe that quite likely you will only do an MBA once in your lifetime. So choose your MBA wisely. And I do encourage that try to talk more with people who have done an MBA. Talk more with, like for example, if you are keen in NUS MBA, talk to Alpha Advisors, right? They have that information about our program. Talk to alumni of our MBA program. I think the conversation doesn't just stop with one session like that. Do stay engaged with the schools. Stay engaged with Alpha Advisors. And I believe that the more information you get, the more nuanced understanding you will have of the program, and that will actually help you when it comes to selecting an MBA and even to the point of when you are doing your application as well. All right. So, I mean, with that, I would like to wish you all the very best. Please stay in touch with us, and I do hope to see you at NUS in the near future.
Thank you.
ね、私からも
はい、お願いし
一
ます。
言お伝えさせていただきます。ごめんなさい。先に事務的なと言いますか、先ほどの、QS のイベントには私は残念ながら行けませんので、
そうです
ただ
はい、
はい。
オンラインでコネクト、
そうですね。もうリンクトインでも何でもご連絡いただければ、私でよろしければ対応させていただきますというところとですね、そうですね、本当、ジュンも言っていた通り、大変な、なんていうか、大きな意思決定だと思います。で、行くのも正解だし、行かないのも正解だと思いますし、で、僕自身ももう最後の最後までですね、いろんな方に話しに行って、いろんな学校の方に話を聞いて、結構迷ってたなっていうのも改めて今話聞きながら思い出してですね、なので最後は本当に繰り返しになっちゃうんですけど、こう経験者の方に話を聞きに行って、自分の心がどこに動くかっていうのを、自分の心の動きを掴みに行く、そういう作業でもあるのかなというふうに思いました。なので、そうですね、その中で、なんでしょう、私との対話が一つのきっかけになったら嬉しいですし、とにかく本当 MBA コミュニティって先輩に頼って後輩に恩返しするみたいな結構良き文化があるなって思ってるので、本当に遠慮なく、私もそうですし、周りの先輩の人たちに頼っていただけたら嬉しいなっていうふうに思います。本当に、日本寒いって聞いてますので、体調にお気をつけて頑張ってください。本日はありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。皆さんもご視聴ありがとうございました。Thank you very much for the great webinar today. I'm looking forward to seeing you QS event here in Japan.
Yes, looking forward to seeing you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.